Hey guys, welcome back to the channel with more His Dark Materials. This is Season 1, Episode 5. And yeah, last time we met Lee Scoresby and Yorick Burnison, and they joined Lyra's journey up to the north. Love those two characters so far and their portrayal. Tharder Coram heard from Seraphina Piccola's demons, so we'll see, probably see them to interact this episode. And yeah, looking forward to continuing. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Otherwise, let's get started.
If told what she must do, she will fail. But she won't walk alone.
Who's that? This is...
There is a boy.
Is that Will?
Together, they will change
We're
everything.
going to win this one, aren't we?
I can tell from your face you want me to say yes, so... yes.
You're not an easy man to like, you know that, Lee?
So people tell me.
And yet she's smiling.
There he is. Right on time.
He has eyes on Will? In the first book?
Kid.
For those of you who don't know my history with the show, I read book 1 and I read part or all of book 2. I can't remember if I read all of book 2. I know Will and I know what the subtle knife does, and that's all I remember about book 2. Pan is so round.
Lyra.
Ask the alethiometer, is there something I should be asking you that I haven't?
It's trying to tell me something else. The alethiometer told me... I was asking about Bolvanga.
Hello,
but
Lyra.
Yes, hello, and it told me about the next valley. There's a village with
Hello,
something
Lyra.
horrible in it, and folks think I need to go to it.
Nah.
I'll go alone.
Ooh.
So we can't let you go, Lyra. This is too important.
Then she's
I'm
gonna
sorry.
have to go by herself, sneak off. Just gotta trust the alethiometer. Literally tells you the truth.
Tony, look after the food.
I'll burn it.
I don't care.
I'll burn it. So useless.
You're asking me to trust you over...
No. No, I'm not. I'm asking you to trust this.
Freak.
Freak.
Elaine? Elaine, isn't it?
Oh crap.
Charles, Latram. No, John isn't home, is he?
John died.
Die. If I can ever be of any use to you, here's my number.
I think she was shaking when he... making her feel very uncomfortable.
He was a good man.
Oof.
Well, that's right. Good, good. 1, 2, 3.
Oh! Disqualified. End the match. He wasn't even up yet.
Had a visitor. I didn't know where else to go.
She had a visitor from outer space.
No, I just wanted to see you.
Knock him out.
Your mum's mental, Parry.
Oi! Break! Oi! Break! So, I said get up.
Maybe once we save Roger, we could go save my father too.
She is wise to look for him up there, and the Magisterium thinks he intends to use dust in some way, in order to make a bridge between this world and the world beyond the Aurora.
Do you know what I'm looking for in this fishing settlement?
No, but I know you're right to look into it.
Oof.
You must trust your instincts, Lyra.
Whoa.
You don't look so different.
Really?
Right.
You aren't so old I can't see the man inside.
Oh.
And even if I am too weak to fight them, I am duty-bound to try.
Witches have known of the other worlds for thousands of years. We are as close as a heartbeat.
Will I see you again?
Where I can help, I will. But Asriel is bringing a great war, and the Magisterium know it.
There has never been a moment when I have not thought of you or of him.
Ooh. That was rough.
You call me Lord Farr when you want something and John Farr when you don't, you know that?
No, Lord Farr?
No, Lord Fa.
Kid, promise me that this Alethioma thingy isn't lying to you.
Alethioma thingy.
Doesn't lie.
Is that a sensible thing to do? Look for ghosts?
I've never heard Lee Scoresby talk about being sensible before. I'm bringing her back. Hold tight. I won't be gentle.
Oh boy.
Now you two be good to each other, okay?
Yeah, this must be really exciting for her. Remember the second episode when she was so excited to see an armored bear skull? Now, this is like, what's it called? Legend of Korra, the first episode.
You're just like him. Your father, he always wanted to protect the vulnerable, and he went out into the world and found a way to do it. And you're going to follow him. Take up his mantle. This world is broken. It takes extraordinary people to fix it. Extraordinary people like your dad, like you. Someone's been in here.
Have you been keeping up with your meds? Mum, calm down.
She's
You're
right,
eating.
but he doesn't know that.
They have been in here. You might not be able to tell, but trust me, they have.
What's in the folder, Mum?
Letters from your father. You're not ready, not yet.
Oh.
It's cold and you're warm.
You can keep warm.
Aww.
I was a Svalbard bear, of wealth and rank, a prince. But I broke the rules and I was sent away. I killed another bear. If your father is a prisoner of the Svalbard bears, he will not escape. You cannot trick a bear.
Huh.
You don't know my father. He tricked me into believing that he was my uncle and that my mother and father were
Yeah,
dead.
he's like,
And then he didn't tell me who my real mother.
But you are not a bear.
You're wrong. Some part of me is definitely there. You'll see. You're not scared, are you?
Not yet. But when I am, I shall master the fear.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, Pan.
You're making me nervous.
Yeah.
Don't let Yorick see me nervous. No, you're right. I shall master my fear. Lyra,
What?
is that who I think it is? Billy. He's got no demon. No, Lyra, keep away. Your mother's been waiting for you. Let me take you to her.
That's what they mean by ghosts. Someone who's been cut off from their demon.
Is that my Billy? Where's Roger? Where's his demon? Is that my Billy?
It's worse than anything. Why would they take someone's demon?
Did a brave thing, kid. Good thing. I'm proud of you. Trusted your instincts. You found Billy.
In one episode, he's been more of a father than Lord Asriel has.
We'll be all right. You can go to Rata. You can go to Rata. We'll be all right.
Oh. No.
Harry set up an account 2 weeks before he left.
He knew that he was paying out for a marathon and not a sprint.
He knew it was possible that he was going away for a long time.
We have to fight.
We have to kill.
Oh, the demons just poof.
I heard something outside.
There should have been some questions she could ask the alethiometer that could have prevented that, right?
Yli 2. Otettiin yksi ylimääräinen lapsi.
Jos ne on lapsia, niin... Do you have a name?
Lizzie Brooks.
Lizzie Brooks.
Lizzie, eh? Is that a ferret demon?
Whoa!
And there we are. She's category A. Prep her for immediate treatment.
Well, you can take everything off. We'll take a quick little look, see you're all nice and healthy, and then get you some nice, clean clothes.
I see it too. It's like the one Billy was wearing. This is it, Pan. This is Bulvander.
Darn. Well, that's scary. That's terrifying. Will frickin' Perry. I was certain he didn't show up until book 2, but they're building up his story halfway through season 1, so very interesting choice on their part. Definitely this feels more like an adaptation of his Dark Materials as a whole, rather than having each season be a faithful adaptation of each book. And yeah, I think it makes for better storytelling, possibly. We'll see. But yeah, Lord Boreal's search for Grumman has led him to Will Perry and his mother. And yeah, it kind of started to ring a bell that Grumman, John Perry, is Will's dad. It didn't occur to me until this episode when they actually said it. I was like, oh yeah. What rang more of a bell was Elaine Perry being viewed as like this mentally ill woman. And yeah, I'm not sure. It seems like she has a mental illness, but like the things that they blame on her mental illness, her paranoia about Lord Boreal, and her paranoia that there are people watching and that they've broken in, she's right about all of the things she's paranoid about in this episode. But I mean, also, like, she's had a history of acting up even before they showed up this episode, and the fact that Will has to take care of her. But yeah, it's just very interesting. It feels like the show is trying to get us to be like, yeah, like, let's, like, we should tell, like, it's trying to send a message to us to take people who are mentally ill in the real world, like, more seriously. But yeah, Will even, like, tells her things that we've happened to see her be right about. Like, he tells her that she's wrong about them, and that's hard to watch, for sure. Like, he's the one who has her back the most, and yet he can't understand that there's a lot of truth to the things she's saying. And then he has those letters from John Perry that Elaine still gets, Will chose not to read them in that moment, even after she decides to let him. He must be curious, and I'm sure he will read them soon. But yeah, she makes a point of counting bricks at one point, and also the wooden wall panels whenever she's like ultra paranoid. And I feel like that'll be important later. I'm not sure how, but maybe it's somehow trying to feel like the barrier between this world and the next. I don't know, but yeah, Will also feels very alone. Like he has to take care of his mom, who he feels like is not all there. He still loves her, obviously, but caring for someone like that must be a strain on him. And then at school, he gets bullied, gets called a freak. Sure, we only saw that one guy, but like we also didn't see him interact with any of the other students. And yeah, he even refuses help from his coach, who says his door is always open to him. And yeah, he's very alone. He doesn't get to be a kid. And I think it was Serafina Pekkala's demon who narrates at the beginning that Will and Lyra will like cross paths and like be big parts of each other's lives or something. And that'll be a big change for someone who has been so alone and has had to be very self-sufficient, to have someone who he can rely on, and then who he needs to work together with, possibly giving him a chance to be more of a child. But yeah, I wonder, because like what would his demon be, or what would kids' demons be if they were like Will and had to grow up very fast? Anyway. Yeah, Grumman was from this world, came to Lyra's, went back, so frequently made trips back and forth through windows for expeditions, but he knew this last trip was going to take a long time. Boreal or the guy who was working with him said it was a marathon, not a sprint. So what was his goal going back and forth? I guess we'll figure out soon. And Elaine, like, she knows what he's doing, what John Perry is doing, and she also knows that Will pick up his father's mantle. It feels like she has like a very strong connection to like what's gonna happen. I don't know. It's very interesting to see. Like, she's very intuitive about a lot of things. But anyway. But yeah, like I said, Will is bullied at school partially because of his mother's condition. Don't know if for any other reason, but he does boxing. He's a physically capable kid. But the coach, like, he lost focus for a second when they were like sparring, and we saw him like avert his eyes, and then like the freaking bully punched Will before Will had gotten up. Like, he was in the process of getting up. Screw that kid, man. And then making fun of Will's mom. Ugh. I hope that kid gets his. But yeah, the Egyptians back in Lyra's world are making their way to Bolvanga, and Lyra gets a message to take a detour to a fishing settlement. She tries to tell Farder Coram, and she's like, the alethiometer, it told me. Hello, Lyra. Yes, hello, and it told me. It was really funny, like the way he said hello, Lyra, was just like to interrupt her and like make sure that she shows manners. It was really, really good. And yeah, after some convincing, everybody decides to trust her, or more accurately, they trust in the alethiometer, which I think is a very important distinction. But it's also a very interesting way for a child to command more attention and respect than they do typically at that age. Which, I mean, I always take kids as seriously as possible when they talk. And maybe Philip Pullman, the author of this series, used this as a device to show us that we should trust in children. Because, like, yes, even though it is the alethiometer telling the truth, it is Lyra who's harnessing it, and it is Lyra's intuition that is at work here. So, yeah, like, even Ma Costa, thinking her son is in Bolvanga, winds up trusting the alethiometer, but also at the same time trusting Lyra to put that mission on hold. Yeah, and it turns out Lyra arrives and finds Billy Costa. Poor kid, like, cut off from his own demon. We've had hints about what they were doing in previous episodes. I did remember what was going on with Child Cutter, Intercision. I don't remember what the purpose is for this process, but I have to assume it has something to do with dust and crossing worlds, but we'll see. And yeah, while Lyra is away, Serafina Piccola visits Farder Coram, and that is a sad, sad reunion. This episode had quite a few gut punches. But yeah, that line, like, there's not been a single moment where I haven't thought of you or him. And then by the end of the episode, Billy Costa has died, and the Gobblers wind up taking Lyra. I thought it was a targeted strike to take Lyra, but it turns out that they were there to just, like, weaken the Egyptian forces, like, by assassinating some of them, and, like, take any kids they see. It might actually have been for the better that Lyra didn't wake up Lee, because with the element of surprise against him and them as a whole, he might be dead now too if Lyra had woken him up. But yeah, I'm just like, couldn't the alethiometer have prevented this somehow? Like, and is it still on her? Does she still have it, even though she was grabbed in the middle of the night? I don't know if she left it in her tent. Probably not. But then the Gobblers didn't seem to search her and find it on her. Does she have Serafina Piccola's... I forgot what it's called. The thing that can call her, that she just needs to open, the bottle. So yeah, she needs some backup for sure. And yeah, she realizes that it's the same place that took Billy because they have the same clothing there. Very uncomfortable watching them just, like, tell her to take off all clothes. Ugh. I mean, that's just very uncomfortable in general. But then, yeah, very gut punchy episode. Very sad episode, and yeah, I don't know how they're gonna wrap this all up. I feel like, even though, like, obviously I've forgotten most of the story, but there are still surprises for parts that I do remember, like Will showing up so much earlier. This is like into half a book early, essentially, since this is halfway through the season, and looking forward to seeing how they handle the rest of the season. We also got a little bit of insight into Yorick and why he was banished. I had forgotten that he killed the bear. But yeah, I am hoping he gets his seat back. It sounds like they manipulated him into doing that. Like they manipulated him into losing his armor back in that northern village. But yeah, excited to continue. If you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends.